1, 2, 3.
Kate Mila Falls, you're very welcome along to the Brian and Kieran Warfield podcast, the ramblings of two Irish balladeers, featuring Brian Warfield of the Fierce and Mighty Wolf Tones and his son Kieran, that's me, of the band Catalpa, and also of the Bandwagon Bus, Dublin's only musical ballad tour on wheels. So sit back, relax, grab a tea, coffee, beer or wine or whatever takes your fancy as we go rambling through life's misty foggy dew, through stories, songs, history, politics, life on the road and just a general bit of crack.
I am a young fellow who's easy and bold. In Castletown colours I'm very well known. In Newcastle West I spent many a night with Kitty and Judy and Mary. My father rebuked me for being such a rake and for spending me time in such frolicsome ways, but I ne'er could forget the fair nature of Jane. Agus fog me side mar atá sé, with your hindy hondy hindy haze, skilly with a rifle the doodle and long white fall the day. Someone sat on me hat and I lost my week's pay before the first light of the morning. If I chance for to go to the town of Rathkill, all the girls all around me will flock on the square, and some bring me potchin and other sweet cakes for to treat me unknown to the roll ones. There's one from Mesquite and there's one from the Pike, and another from Bardell. My heart has beguiled, though being from the mountains, her stockings they're white, August fog me should more at all shame. To quarrel for riches I ne'er was inclined, for the greatest of misers must leave them behind. I'll buy me a cow that will never run dry, and I'll milk her by twisting the horn. John Neighbour of Shrunell had plenty of gold, and Devonshire's treasures they're 20 times more, but he stayed on his back among nettles and stones, August fog me should more at all shame. Now some say I'm foolish and more say I'm wise, but be fond of the women I think is no crime, for the son of King David had 1,000 wives, and his wisdom was highly regarded. And now for the future I mean to be wise, and I sent for the women who acted so kind, and I'll marry them all in the moral way and way, if the clergy agree to the bargain. With your hindy hondy hindy hey, skittery with a ray, fall the doodle and lump white fall the day. Someone sat on me hat and I lost my week's pay, August fog me soon more at all shame.
Ah, yeah, the Limerick Rake there, the Wolf Tones on the Foggy Dew, their debut album, The Foggy Dew, back in 1965. A great song, that, the Limerick Rake.
Yeah, and it was sung there by Noel Nagel, and that's just one of the songs we recorded on that one-day session with Jack Bagstock, and, the whole album was recorded in, I think it was in the morning, and we probably finished it by 4 o'clock that day, but, it was a great experience for us. But that song, funny enough, we are going around Ireland, travelling around Ireland, and we stopped in at John B. Kane's pub in Listowel.
Oh yeah, I know it.
Yeah. And John B., God rest him now, he was alive and well, and a great celebrity at the time we called in. So yeah, we told him we are going around the country. We are doing a gig down in Killarney, and we were collecting songs around the country, and he said, I've a guy here, he says, you might be interested. He has a couple of songs from around the area. The Limerick Rake was one of them. And he he sent down a messenger. I don't think he even had the phone, whatever. He sent down a messenger to bring him up to the pub. Pints were poured out in abundance, and he told us a great story about the song tradition around the Kerry and Limerick.
Yeah.
And
you meet some great characters around it.
Fabulous characters. And this guy came in anyhow, and he played the guitar. Can't remember his name, but he sang the song, and we said we'd love to get it, and he said, yeah, well, why not? He said, I'd love to give it to you. So he passed it on to us, and Noel Nagel was appointed as the singer for that song, and we went. It was one of the ones that we recorded. Now we probably got it. Back in 1964.
Yeah.
Before we actually, recorded and all that. But I thought it was very unique the way he sang it. This guy from Limerick, he had that little chorus, which you hiding thee, holding thee, hiding thee, hey, skiddery widdery, I faddle doodle lamb, what, that's the way it goes. But anyhow, yeah, and we said, yeah, you got to do that. We thought we were fascinated by the chorus and everything. But he generously gave us a song, and he could have made it himself, I guess. But then he was good enough singer, and he wasn't a little bit older than us, but probably around the same age, 2 or 3 years in the difference. Yeah. But John B, great character, and he was. We had worked in his play in Kilcullen. They put on his play Men of 20. Yeah, and I think for the first time, the way it was run down there by the Kilcullen Drama Society. And the way they ran it there, they had us involved in many of their plays. Yeah. And what we did is we kind of sang and in the middle of the play and all that kind of thing. We sang Many a Men of 20, and we sang, whatever song. Sive was one of the other plays that we did there.
I've gone to see that. Yeah, it's a very good play.
And so we done a lot of that stuff, a lot of J.B. Kane's stuff, and there were great plays. And Many a Men of 20 was a great song, and an apt song for, back then in the 60s because of all the emigration to England and everything else like that. So, yeah, the relationship we had with J.B. Kane was fantastic, and he gave us everything that he knew about Irish song and Irish ballads, so we owe him a lot.
So, yeah, there was great characters down around there that you would have known down there, like Mick O'Dwyer and Pat Spillane and all them. You would have known all them guys.
Oh, yeah, but that was a little before there.
Oh, I know, yeah. Sorry, but I'm just because when I worked for Walton's, I used to travel around the Ring of Kerry, and I used to deal with all the touristy shops, and I used to have great fun meeting all the. So there was some great characters, just funny and brilliant, quick-witted. Just loved them, but sorry, John B. Keane. Sorry,
yeah, well, we loved Kerry, and Kerry was probably one of the first counties to recognise the value of the wolf tones. Yeah, and we used to go to Ballybunion for the race meeting every year, and it was a thing that the All Ireland finalists always went down there. Dublin went down there. Kerry went down there. Of course, they were down there already. And Tip, a lot of the football teams took a break after the championships, and you'd meet every Tom, Dick, and Harry down there. Now it was difficult to get a place to stay back then, whatever. But we had been generously given a bedroom by one of our great friends down there, and we always kind of stayed around. It might be 6 in the bed, and the little one said, "Move over."
You don't mind that when you're young.
No, we were happy to have a place which I had. It didn't have to be Buckingham Palace, and it certainly wasn't.
I remember when I went to Italia '90, we bought a 4-man tent. I think in one time in Palermo, we stayed in a little fishing village outside of Palermo called Sfericavallo. I think at one stage there was about 8 in the tent. And it was just whoever got there had to stick their head in or whatever, look, just to get so they wouldn't get mosquito bites. Like that. But it was great crack. Great crack.
Better than out there, nothing covering or nothing over you. Yeah. But there were great times. We always found like a hay barn or something like that to stay in. And, when we went around the flats, I remember one time we stayed in the hay barn in Mullingar, down in Mullingar, and it happened to be the hay barn that was attached to the mental institution down there. Oh, right. And my good friend, since dead, Philip Woodnut, he worked in as a cooper, repairing the barrels and all that, and he worked at a cooperage there down in Island Bridge, and he used to put the barrels out to dry, in a sunny day. And when it happened, the juice within the wood of the barrel, which was either brandy, whiskey, sherry, all kinds of stuff, would drain out of it, you see, and he'd put it into milk bottles. And we go to the flat with milk bottles full of brandy, whiskey, and it was great stuff because this is the stuff that was maturing in the wood. Yeah. And when it came out of the wood, my God, it was great stuff. But we used to bring it around with us. But anyhow, we were down in the mental place there, and there was a guy there. He was probably one of the fellas that was given responsibility. He didn't seem to have that much problems. Anyhow, seemed to be normal enough to us. But he says, "Okay, I'll let you stay here till." You can stay here, he says, till 6 o'clock. And then he said the staff come in at 6:30, 7. And he said, you'll be gone by then. So once no messing around, no dirt, no, don't leave any evidence. So as a thank you gift, Philip gave him a bottle of a milk bottle full of stuff. I don't know what kind of stuff was in it. I don't know how he got on with that after, but he had to swig out of it while we were there.
He probably became an inmate.
If he wasn't, he would be one after that stuff. But anyhow, the next morning, of course, we got up at 6 o'clock and moved out. And we moved outside the gate of the place, and it was a kind of moved outside, but kind of a laneway leading into a gateway into the property. So we lit a fire out there, and we put on the billy carn for a cup of tea or whatever. And who walked in? Only Barney McKenna.
Yeah.
And Barney McKenna walked in, and oh, come on, Barney, give us an old tune. He had the banjo with him, you know. So we started around the fire anyhow, and Barney started playing the tunes good out. We made a tea and a couple of sausages on the frying pan or whatever we had. Barney and we all lashed into it on that morning with the banjo playing and the songs were singing. And funny enough, about that fleadh, I wrote a song about it, and it's called the Mullingar Fleadh. The Mullingar Fleadh was never forgot by those who were there and those who were not. The fleadh was good, the music was grand, the jigs and the reels and the songs of our land. Yeah. And I had a line in it, and the sane and insane, they all said that they all shared a bed, which is the fact that we slept in a mental institution that night. And it finished off great with Barney was a great character.
Yeah, I can imagine.
He was a very generous man, a very nice man, an easygoing man, and everybody got on with Barney, and everybody loved him. He was such a great, quiet, lovely man. Yeah. And I remember when he had the fishing boats out there in Holt and all that. I met him a couple of times over the years, and he was always very, very nice guy, and we got on very, very well together. Yeah. And he would, at the drop of a hat, he would play the banjo or do anything like that. He didn't have to be coaxed; just loved it.
Was he the best banjo player you ever heard?
Well, I thought so. I was really delighted with his banjo playing. He had a wonderful style and a wonderful way of presenting the banjo. It was so easygoing. Mm. You know what I mean? Like he looked like it wasn't. You know the way some people, it looks very just difficult. Natural, you know, they're bending over.
Yeah, concentration.
Yeah, the concentration. But with Barney, my God, he could make it talk, and it was great to watch him up front. Around the campfire and the sausages coming on, sizzling on the pan, the tea boiling on the. Oh, it was great.
You make me hungry.
Well, when you were hungry, I remember one time, I think it was the first. Wasn't the All Ireland Fleadh Mullingar, but it was one before that, about a year or so before that. And I wasn't used to drinking, and of course we went out drinking that night, and I think I had about 3 pints. And I always remember my mother had given us a can of Spam.
Lovely. Lovely.
Horrible stuff.
Classy.
But we were putting it on the pan, you see, and I always had to get sick that night from all the Guinness I had,
Consumed,
taken in.
yeah.
And when I smelt the Spam, oh my God, it smelled horrible. And I could never, ever look at a can of Spam again. I looked at a pint of Guinness again, but not the Spam.
Well, in fairness now, Spam is pretty shite, like it is. And it's bad enough when you open it and you eat it raw, but just put it on a pan and have it steaming up. Jesus.
We were frying it on the pan.
Good
But anyhow, we never really got to. I never got to eat it. It just the smell of it alone was making me sick again.
And the Mullingar Fleadh, of course, was meant to be on this year and last year.
It was a shame because
big loss to the town. Well, hopefully but I think they move it on then the next 2 years. I don't know whether they'll.
I don't know because we were at the last one, which was held in Drogheda.
Yeah, it was great. I went down to see you.
That was great crack altogether. We played there for 3 nights, and 3 nights it was fantastic.
It's absolutely mental.
Yeah, mental. But it's a wonderful occasion.
It's great. And it's great to see all the kids walking around with music instruments on their back, or just the confidence of them to play in front of crowds.
Yeah, some of these kids are just
unbelievable.
Unbelievable talent. The talent in Ireland around the flats, kids playing pipes and playing whistles and playing accordions and banjos. My God, the talent is unbelievable.
Yeah, just to be able to have that confidence to sit in front of so many people, and most people would have a good few chairs on them as well, so they'd be open for criticism. If a mistake was made.
What you say about my banjo playing? Book. Don't say that again.
And apart from yourself, who was the best 5-string banjo player you ever heard?
Well, of course, Luke Kelly played the 5-string banjo. And Tommy Macon played the 5-string banjo. I was the person that influenced me most was Pete Seeger.
Yeah,
and Pete Seeger. When I was only young, I was about 15, I guess, or 16 maybe. Pete Seeger came to Dublin, and he asked for some people to surround him that would know the choruses of his songs,
Yeah.
So I was part of the Young Folk Song Society at that time. And I was invited to be part of. We were all invited, all the members invited to be part of that. So we went on stage with Pete Seeger, and I was amazed at the great talent that he had, and the way that they could maneuver an audience. He could make an audience cry, clap along like hell, and sing, and it was an amazing character. And that influenced me more than anything, and I said, I'm definitely going to play the banjo.
It's a thing in itself, isn't it? The persona, to be able to own the stage, it's a skill in itself. Apart from playing the music or singing a song, to own the stage, to be able to captivate an audience, you can do that too.
I owe a lot to I owe a lot to watching other people. That's everybody does. You learn your trade as you go along, but it is important, of course, to involve your audience one way or the other. I mean, some people, wonder why, they don't communicate with the audience enough to bring them along with what they want them to do.
Yeah.
I've seen people be great musicians, but they couldn't handle an audience. They expected everyone to love them just because they could play well.
Yeah.
That's not the way it is.
I'll have to up my game.
Yeah, you got to be more than that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But there was great occasions, around the thing, and I was delighted to be part of that show, because I don't think Pete Seeger came much to Ireland after that.
Yeah.
And I was just a Pete Seeger fan, and.
Did you get his autograph?
A banjo fan. I didn't even think of it at that stage. I wasn't in a kind of an autograph guy, you know what I mean? I hated bothering anybody for anything,
I'm a bit like that too, but with the likes now. Scott Brown is leaving Celtic this year.
Yeah.
He's gone off to Aberdeen.
Yeah.
And I've met him a couple of times, and I've never asked him for an autograph. And I was going, geez, why didn't I ask him for an autograph? Now I said, he's a legend. He's going to be leaving. I'll never have that opportunity again. So I made a query, and I'm posting a jersey over tomorrow to get signed. So,
Signed, yeah.
Just to have it.
And when is he leaving now?
Well, his last game will be the last league game, but whether he, like, if I was manager of the team after the performance on Sunday, I'd play all the young fellas and, you know, anybody that. There was a lot of dead weight there on Sunday or yesterday, as you've seen yourself. Yeah,
well, that was the Rangers and Celtic game, and it was very disappointing to any of the Celtic supporters. It just means that the Celtic need a whole rethink about their whole effort, their whole club, and the way it's 9 years of great success.
Oh, yeah. Like, as I said to you before the start of it, I said, like, I went over 80, my first time. They won the double that year, and I thought, oh, this is great. I didn't see them lift another trophy till 1995 when I went over for the cup final against Airdrie.
Yeah.
You know, now they won in 89 to beat Rangers in the cup final, but I didn't get to see that. That was with Joe Miller, I think.
Yeah.
You can't take it for granted. That's what we we seem to take it for granted, you know, because we were winning and doing quadruple trebles.
Great, but it's a lot of effort. It's a lot of teamwork, and if any of those elements go a little bit off, the team goes off. I mean, look at Liverpool.
Yeah,
and Liverpool were doing fantastic. You know, I thought they couldn't be beaten, and I was saying, oh, not another one of these like Man U sides that keep winning all the time. Nothing wrong with that, but if you're not a fan, you like to see them be beaten now and again.
Especially United.
Yeah, but like, you know, that's what it is. That's football, and you know that you can't keep winning.
No,
like for 20, 25 years, it'd be no fun.
Well, I think you have to keep changing it up, and you know, I don't think Celtic did enough of changing it up, and some of the players that were brought in and some of the players that were kept, and we know that they didn't want to be there, and it can clearly be seen by the performance that they put in. So, anyway, look, it was depressing enough watching it yesterday without talking about it. So anyway, back to the Limerick Rake. I looked it up, and there's feck all to find about the Limerick Rake, apart from the fact that it first appeared in Colm O'Loughlin's 1939 publication, Irish Street Ballads. You probably have that book, have you?
I do, indeed, yeah.
Well, that's the first the first time it appeared anywhere in written word.
Yeah, well, we probably got it as clear and as near to the source as possible, and in other words, it was still a well-sung song around the area of Limerick, Kerry area, and I mean the borders. Listowel is only down. It's only a stone throw from the borders of Limerick, so you can imagine that it was a well known song around the area. Yeah. And
do you know what a rake is?
What?
Do you know what a rake is?
I do.
For the people that don't know what a rake is. I used to think it was about something about cutting grass.
Yeah, and raking the garden, which I often got you to do.
Well, obviously not.
Yeah, no, it's a wayward character.
Yeah, well, it's
wayward character.
The term of it means a man habituated to immoral conduct. It's the technical term for it.
Yeah.
Or also a prodigal wasting his fortune on women and gambling. And wine.
Well, it wasn't the only song about it. You know, rakes were kind of like anybody, young people, spirited people that went out and made assholes of themselves, I guess. But you had the rakes of Mallow.
Yeah.
And you had in the songs of the 19th century and mid-19th century, the rakes, it was a common word for people who were a bit flamboyant in their lifestyle.
Mm. And the Irish part in it?
Agus fága mé siúd maratá sé. I leave it there as it is, or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Let it be as it is.
We leave that as it is.
Yeah. But that's probably a well-known Irish saying too.
Yeah. Well, it means a couple of different things depending on what part of Ireland you're from. It means different up in the likes of Derry than it does down in Kerry.
Kerry, Well, that'd be the different dialects, you know, which Ireland, Ireland being, it's like it amazes me when I go around Ireland that there's so many different accents. It's amazing, like, say, if you're on the Waterford Cork border, right? And you have the Waterford accent, which is quite nice and all that. Oh, what are you doing? We're going to go yeah. Here, bye. That's so different. And, like, you only go, like, 6 miles, 3 miles down the road, and they change.
Yeah.
And how did that happen?
Some of them are very difficult to understand, especially down around Kerry, like around the ring of Kerry. Jesus, I remember the first time I walked in somewhere and I was looking to see if he wanted to open an account, and I asked him the question and he answered me back, and I was going, I have not got a clue what that man just said to me. I just looked dumbfounded at him going.
Well, I'll tell you something. We were down in Killarney at one stage and playing the Glen Eagle at the time. And I'm up at the bar having a nice pint for myself, and Jono the Jarvey comes up, and he was one of the Jarvies down there. And
I remember him,
and we're talking at the counter, and then this other guy comes over from Belfast, and the guy from Belfast is at one side and Jono's on the other, So Jono goes, yeah, that'll be fine, whatever, I'd say to him then. And then the guy from Belfast said, what did he say? I say, well, he said blah, 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 blah. And then John will say, what did he say? And I'm in the middle of this fair and I'm trying to
translate
the English language to each other. And I was in the middle, but I was used to both accents.
Yeah, well, the Belfast accent's quite tough.
Yeah. If you get a Belfast accent that's that's fast and moving, it's a wonderful accent, but you got to understand and slow down a bit.
Yeah. It took me a while now of going up to Belfast and playing in Belfast before I actually was able. Now I can understand every word. And then, because I always meet a lot of lads going across on the boat to Glasgow, so you get to know the faces. And you get chatting to them, and then it becomes second nature now. I pick it up quite easy.
Well, I wouldn't have trouble now with the Belfast accent or indeed any accents now. I've been so used to going around Ireland and and being part of Ireland, all counties over the years, that I'm used to every single accent. And
what's your favourite accent?
The Dublin one.
The real Dub now, the inner city Dub, or
it amazes me how many different accents there are in Dublin.
Yeah.
You have the D4, you have the sort of Dalkey accent, then you have the real Dalkey accent, which would be the kind of the native to Dalkey rather than the newcomers. But there's great accents around. I mean, I love all the accents. I get a great crack out of all the accents. Loud is great. Probably loud is the hardest to get here. Now, get there now.
They don't. It's not that bad.
What else is there?
When I first went up to Loud, I remember walking into a room with people I didn't know, and you start at the first person and they go, well, and you go, grand, yeah, thanks. And then they go, well. And it took me a while to get used to that, but that's all. I think Monaghan, they'd say that as well, well.
Yeah, well, I love accents. I Cork and Kerry are very rich, and they're
very strong.
You could almost, they're great singers, and that's the accent actually sings. Waterford is like Dublin and Leinster; it's a bit flat.
Yeah.
It's a bit flat. Wexford is kind of unique. It has a touch, and it has a touch of a northern accent in its accent.
Yeah.
Wicklow.
Arklow and Wicklow.
Yeah.
They have their unique accent.
Yeah, they still has that little unique. It's closing in on Dublin, and I guess a lot of people from Dublin came from Wicklow and it surrounds. Like one of my great grandfather, who was a fisherman, and I was just looking up there. He had 4 different fishing boats, but one of them was in Arklow. And he called, what was that called? He had the Primrose, the Mary Ann, and I can't remember the third one. He had it in Arklow.
Oh, right.
1853 was the year he bought that.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he had he had other ones there. Gave it on the registry. He was the captain of the ship and owner.
But not long after the famine, still.
Yeah. Well, him being a fisherman probably, helped him survive.
Yeah.
And probably helped a lot of other people survive because fish wasn't something that you exported. It was for the local market.
Wouldn't last anyway.
They
didn't have refrigeration back then, did they?
They didn't. They salted, but they salted fish. But then that's kind of an expensive thing to get salt.
Yeah.
So that's the way life goes on, isn't it? Like there but for fortune go you and I.
Yeah. And you got vaccinated finally. One.
I did. I'm glad to get it. The first one, the fires are beyond 10.
So what's the first thing you're going to do now when everything opens up?
Well, hopefully I'll have a nice pint. I'm still dreaming of that pint of creamy, lovely Guinness. Oh, I'm still dreaming about it.
Well, you can go out everywhere doing that.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to drink it outside in the road, bring it into the car.
You enjoyed the ones you had in Greystones?
Oh, I did, yeah. We sat in the parkway on a park bench.
It was a beautiful day, though. It was a lovely day.
Yeah. It was great. But they're the little things that you miss and the little things that you enjoy when you can grab a moment to do something special.
Yeah.
I think like having that pint that you can't have. Well, we could. It was open to get takeaways at the time, so we did have that pint, and it was appreciated because you didn't have it for a while before that.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was.
Well, this one's longer, isn't it?
It's long now, yeah.
I had my last pint Christmas Eve. I went out Christmas Eve because I knew we were going to be locked up.
Yeah.
And I just said, fucking I'm going out.
Yeah.
Was it Christmas Eve or the day before Christmas Eve?
I think they shut down for Christmas Eve, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I think it was the night before Christmas Eve. Yeah.
So that was the last time, and I think the last time I was in the pub was probably in New York, and that was the last time in the pub.
You haven't been in the pub since?
No.
Oh, jeez, I was.
No. Oh yeah, I did. I went to see.
You went to Beelan's?
Yeah. I was in Beelan's for a podcast, and then I went. Didn't we go over and see a match over in Rackcool?
I don't know. I didn't go with you.
You were with me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the All Ireland final.
Yeah, the All Ireland final.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Jeez, we got drunk as monkeys that night.
But that was very well organised, and everybody was like social distance and all that kind of thing.
In fairness to the publicans, they've done everything they can that's been asked of them, And
I think they did, and again, there's always the rogue, wherever you do and wherever you are, wherever business you're in. There's always that rogue trader that will break the red lines, and that's the unfortunate thing.
Still doing it. There's still she-beans being opened up all over the place.
Oh, God help them. If you have a mortgage on your bar and something like that, you must be dying of death and worried to death, about your business.
Just glad I'm not in that business anymore.
Yeah, it's a tough business for having to cope with this, and that's what makes it almost impossible.
That's for sure.
But they'll be back sooner than later, I hope.
Yeah.
We're talking about opening in June, isn't it?
I don't think the pubs will open in June. I think they'll open up hotels and
that's
stuff like
a
that.
pub.
Well, you're grasping at straws here, Dan. But the thing is that everywhere's going to be open up north. There's just going to be an exodus up to the 6 counties.
I don't know whether I don't know.
But they're opening in May. The pubs are opening up there in May.
Yeah.
100%. Like they're like there's bands booking gigs up there now.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to my cousin there yesterday, and Tony Baloney, and he said he got 2 things yesterday. He went to Mass and then went to the pub afterwards and had a couple of pints.
Don't be telling me
so
that.
That's as normal as you can get.
I'm not too worried about the Mass bit, but it's just the pub bit. Sure, look it.
Yeah.
Hopefully back soon. So anything else happening? What am I looking at, George?
Well, we're looking at hopefully going back to play, hopefully back in October in Ireland, the October weekend.
Yeah.
And the weekend beforehand, and November in Scotland and England.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's the case. I know they're opening up in England pretty shortly, and I don't know what the law or regulation will be, but I mean, if you don't book the halls now, you
won't get one,
you
yeah.
won't get one later once they loosen up.
Yeah.
And we also booked for next Easter as well. So just in case we couldn't get in October, we have the halls booked for Easter next year.
For Ireland or
Pardon?
for Ireland or for
Ireland, we have like the National Stadium, and we have National Stadium on Good Friday, and we'd Cork and Limerick and
all the gigs that you had booked out. All right.
Being moving on and on and on and on, and don't worry, we didn't do anything with your money. It's still it's still there. It's still there in Ticketmaster or whatever the ticket place is. We can't lay our hands on it until the show's over.
Yeah. Well, I've obviously not booking anything, but I'm looking at doing a big charity event in August.
Really? Yeah.
So my idea was to go around every GA ground in Ireland in 48 hours and sing the county song at that ground.
Wow.
So it's nearly 2,000 kilometres to go around the whole of Ireland.
Are you walking?
No. No, we're going to drive, and we're going to. It's called 32 Songs for Ireland.
Very good.
It's for Focus Ireland, and I got the idea from Kevin Aiken. Did it for Young John for his charity.
Oh yeah,
when they went around every football ground in Scotland, but they just travelled to the ground and then moved on to the next one. So we're going to get out, sing. And we're going to hopefully have people join us and sing. And then I'll be looking for companies from that county to sponsor the county song for the Focus Ireland, So
if you're listening there, folks, and you have any ideas for Kieran and his great big effort as charity around the all the great clubs of Ireland, all the
GA grounds. Like I've been at a lot of them. Gone to see the Dubs play or whatever.
Yeah.
But just to be able to travel around them all and say, now, unfortunately, Antrim doesn't have one because Casement Park is in ruins, and they're still waiting on planning permission to go through.
Well, you can sing outside.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll stand on the Anderson Road or whatever it is there, and we'll give a tune from there.
Okay.
So.
Keep the ideas coming.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is going to get onto O'Neill's and try and get them to sponsor jerseys and wear the jersey of the county at the ground, and then hopefully get the GA county board from that county to get it signed and then auction it off afterwards.
Oh, excellent idea, yeah.
So there's loads of other ways we're going to...
Yeah.
But we're going to finish up on All Ireland final day in Croke Park on the bandwagon bus.
Oh, fantastic, yeah.
So
you're not going to take the bus around with you, are you?
Jesus, Dad, it'd take you about 2 weeks to get around.
It's very slow.
It's very slow. Yeah. Well, it's not designed for country roads, where we're trying to get the quickest route to everywhere. And
lads and lassies, you got to try this bus when it comes back, when the COVID thing comes out. It's really, really great fun. I've been on it a couple of times on the run around Dublin, and sang a couple of songs on it, and. It's amazing the reaction you get as you travel around down O'Connell Street, all around the city. People are turning around. We saw people dancing on the sidewalks.
I have to say, when we did the first, because obviously we started it just as COVID was hitting. The launch was meant to be in March.
Great timing.
Yeah, the launch was meant to be in March. But we got out a couple of times, and the first time that we came back after the first lockdown, and the joy on the streets of Dublin as we were going past, and the smiles on the faces, because there was a lot of sad-looking people walking around the city, but when we went by and they heard the music, they were dancing along, smiling. And right throughout the whole few times that we did get out, it was great. Like, and I was trying to explain that to the girl in Focus Ireland, about it, and she was like, "That's an amazing idea." She had a look at it online, so you can have a look online at bandwagonbus.com.
Yeah, it's worth to go. Honest to God, it's great. But I
don't know when we're going to get back. That's the only thing.
We got up to. Remember getting up to the Phoenix Park, and it wasn't quite locked down at the time. And it was a wonderful, clear, sunny day, and the crowds were sitting around the park and everything else. The crowds got up and sang and dancing around. It was like, Oh, it's unbelievable. But it's going to bring great atmosphere into Dublin.
Yeah.
As it moves
I'm
around.
looking forward to getting back on it now. To be honest,
Yeah.
but I can't see it happening this year. I just can't see it happening this year.
Well, hopefully it does.
So we look forward to it anyway next year and give it a proper launch. And
you can bring a party out it's great that if you have
we had someone's party booked, but it was I think it was a big birthday, like
and if you have a birthday party or Christmas party at Christmas and all that, it's going to be a wonderful way to celebrate it. Stag nights and all the rest of it. It's just a great way of celebrating, and unique, and people love something different, and that's definitely different.
Yeah. Well, hopefully back on the road soon, and we'll have a blast.
Have a hoolie on the bus.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, will we play out with your Mullingar Fleadh?
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it. I don't know whether I have it. It is a great song.
Yeah, the Mullingar Fleadh.
Yeah.
It was great.
Have you got? I'm not sure. I can't. I was going to say I'll burn it off the CD, but I bought a computer without a CD thing in it.
Maybe I have it out there. I don't know.
I'll get it.
I think it's. I'll give you a CD anyhow.
I'll rob it off YouTube. I can't play it. I've nothing to play it on.
That's the way it's gone, folks. No one has a CD player anymore.
I'm raging.
What the hell was them things that used to go to the cassettes? And what about vinyl's back, isn't it?
Yeah. I was on eBay the other day. I was looking for something. I can't remember what I was looking. I think I was looking for a jersey, an old jersey that I wanted to get. And I came across a few Wolf Tone things. And one of the things was a big A2, is it A2 or A3 poster from your tour you did down in Australia with Duke Special.
Oh, yeah.
When you look back at all the old posters, you probably wish you had kept a lot of them, would you?
I suppose I would have, yeah.
I remember there was so many posters in this house and we never kept any.
Yeah, but how, my wife goes crazy with all the stuff I have in the house as it stands. So, I'm a dirt collector. I'll get rid of all, She can't wait to get things to the bin. Never mind, I'm lucky to be here.
But you had a great collection of stuff. But even I think back to all the old Siamsa Cois Laoi posters and all that.
I know, none of them.
They'd be worth a fortune now.
Probably, yeah. Well, I missed it.
Yeah. Who was your favourite performer then in Siamsa Cois Laoi? Did you ever watch any of the bands? Stay on and watch any of the bands, or did you just get up and do your slot?
I did watch.
To the pub and go.
Well, that was. Now, normally after a gig, we normally did the.
You were the last, always, weren't you?
We did the last song before the interval.
All right.
Yeah. And then you had. Sometimes we opened the second part, but I preferred the spot before the interval because everybody was hot then. The whole crowd was in, and it was the best spot for me anyhow. And whereas by the time you're the fourth act, they're a bit fed up and
it's getting tired.
They've had that was normally the top act. But but they were all great. We had a great experience with all the great performers. And
many gigs did you do in Siamsa Cois Laoi? For anyone that doesn't know, by the way,
I think we did 13.
Give a bit of background on Siamsa Cois Laoi.
Well, Siamsa Cois Laoi was we were coming back from I think from a festival in France, and we had hired a private jet and to get over there and get back, and we had collected, and of course we got other people hopped on the jet with us, and so anyhow, coming back, we were talking about why don't we do that in Ireland, like the festival that we had just been in France, and we spoke about it and all that, and then Oliver was part of the county board, the Cork County Board, in as part of the committee or some way involved. But they were running out of money because of the new stadium and all that had been done, and they needed money. So he suggested doing a
festival,
a kind of a thing, and the first one was the Dubliners, Chieftains, Wolf Tones, and Alan Stivell.
Oh, yeah.
And that was the first one.
Yeah.
And then we were on everyone after that for 13 years.
Yeah. They were great occasions. I still have very good memories of them. I remember the last one, the day before U2 played with UB40, the Dubliners, and Christy Moore, I think.
Yeah,
and then the following day, you played with the Pogues, yourselves, Status Quo, and
They were good lineups.
they're brilliant lineups, yeah.
Great lineups.
Like both days were sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the day before I went to the one with U2, the day before now, wouldn't be a U2 fan now, but back then when they were a real rock band,
yeah,
they were just brilliant. It was one of the best gigs. That was the what tour was that? The Joshua Tree tour.
Yeah. Did you weren't at the one with Michael Jackson or?
I did. I went into that.
Did you? Yeah.
Because remember, Oliver sent you out tickets and nobody else in the house wanted to go, so I went down. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Because he played 2 nights, but I only had tickets for the Saturday. I ended up buying tickets for the Sunday.
Did you? Yeah.
Ended up beside what's his name, the DJ, the radio DJ, Ian. What's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I ended up standing beside him.
Yeah.
Not through your ticket, but through the one I bought black market out in the street. But I'd no hotel afterwards. You couldn't get a hotel for
you won't get one.
Or BV, so I had to drive back to Dublin after the gig. I was fucking wrecked. I never forget going driving home because that was the old Cork Road.
Yeah.
And it was a long journey back from Cork back then.
I'm telling you, it was. I've done it many a time.
I can trying to keep myself awake. I had to jump
humpbacked bridges and everything.
Yeah, it was brutal.
What's a humpback bridge? He wasn't in Notre Dame, was he? The Hunchback Bridge.
But the Siamsa Cois Laoi Festival was brilliant and the atmosphere. But I always remember the reaction you guys got from the crowd. Like, it completely changed.
Well, it was said by many people that the only reason they went to Siamsa Cois Laoi was to see the Wolf Tones bring down every international act. They were all afraid to go on after us.
And there was some great, there was Don McLean.
Yeah.
I remember the year I went down to Don McLean, I got the train down and back. I think I stayed in Lan and Grandad's the night before.
Yeah.
And got the train down. Got quite drunk on that train, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Met a few Don McLean fans that were giving out about the Wolf Tones.
Great days.
Yeah.
Great shows, yeah. If you remember them...
You can actually see them on YouTube. So
there's a good lot of them there.
So if you type in Siamsa Cois Laoi into YouTube and you'll be able to pull up a few of the
great shows,
the gigs and the atmosphere, and it was before any of the big festivals came along. They were probably the first festival. In Ireland,
a lot of the people like Status Quo, they said there were never an atmosphere like it, and then after the Siamsas and most of them actually went to Siamsas and their managers and everything else like that, they caught on to the idea of having the crowd waving and cheering and all that kind of thing. So, we were probably acclaimed as one of the great live acts of that period. And we certainly will be responsible for a lot of the ways in which festivals took place after that. Remember, like back in the day, most international acts only played indoors.
Yeah.
And
it's certainly a big thing now, anyway.
Yeah. It's a big money thing now because you can get huge crowds in.
Yeah. Well, not now, unfortunately.
COVID put a stop to that.
So, as I was telling you, we have a new listener in Azerbaijan, in Baku, and
I know it well.
Yeah. Well, I hope to go there in October. So, if that person is listening, send me all the details of where it's good to go. And
show him around, and he'd buy you a few pints.
Yeah, I'll sing you a song.
And singing a song and everything.
Yeah. So we'll play out then with the Mullingar Fleadh if I can find it. If not, it'll be something else.
Yeah, you'll find it.
I'll find it. I'll rob it off YouTube like I did with the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say that?
You did. But we never got royalties for it.
No. All right, so next week, what are we next week? Can you remember off the album, Dad?
No.
It's
a surprise.
The Dryland Sailors.
Oh, come on, you Dryland Sailors, and listen to me.
Think, yeah. All right. Yeah, Dryland Sailors.
Yeah.
And after that, then we've got Follow Me. We've only got, actually, this is what are we at now? The 11th, 12th? This is our 10th episode. Well, our 10th off the album, so it's our 12th actual episode.
Of the shows.
Well, that includes the drunken St. Patrick's Day birthday.
Yeah, we got some comments of that.
The drunken birthday one, yeah.
We had a little too much Guinness, I think. But it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was a great crack. Probably just as well it wasn't recorded for posterity. All right, anyway, look, we leave it there. How do you say that in Irish?
Fágam siúd mar atá sé.
That's it. All right, so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from me. Bye-bye.
Slán go fóill.
The Mullingar Fleadh will be never forgot by those who were there and by those who were not. The crack, it was good, and the music was grand. The jigs and the reels and the songs of our land. There was banjos and whistles and barons and pipes and fiddles and zitters and flutes of all types. And we sang the old song, sure, the old-fashioned songs. Strike up an old tune and we'll all sing along. And we got sure we never did no wrong. And we sang the great songs of old Ireland. I heard the pipes played with the magical sound. I'd seen a jig danced and they ne'er touched the ground. Was attended by all, both the living and the dead. The sane and insane, sure they all shared a bed. And Bacchus and Venus, they sported and played. And the weekend extended by 4 to 5 days. And we sang the old song, sure, the old-fashioned songs. Strike up an old tune and we'll all sing along. And we got sure we never did no wrong. And we sang the great songs of old Ireland. And songs they were killed without a reason or rhyme, and songs resurrected from beginnings of time. I heard a traditional rock and roll song. Some sang it right and some sang it wrong. The stories, the love songs, the old songs the new, the jigs and the reels and the rebel songs too. And we sang the old song, sure, the old-fashioned songs. Strike up an old tune and we'll all sing along. And we got sure we never did no wrong. And we sang the great songs of old Ireland. Now here's to those who are dead and are gone, and here's to those who have yet to be born, and here's unto those who are living today. Here's unto those who are far, far away, and may God rest the souls of the men dead and gone, but their songs and their music is still living on. And we sang the old song, sure, the old-fashioned songs. Strike up an old tune and we'll all sing along. And we got sure we never did no wrong. And we sang the great songs of old